Okay, so now that we have the connections loose for the monitor and webcam and the wireless card, we can now start removing the LCD hinge. The LCD hinge, there is 3 screws. These are the 2.5 by 12-inch screws, and they go all the way down into the bottom of the casing. If your HP laptop has a creaky hinge, or the hinge is starting to bulge when you open the laptop, tightening these 3 screws on each hinge will most of the time fix the issue with the hinge making a creaking noise or bowing out. Normal times these screws come loose through normal opening and closing of the lid of the laptop. On the side of the LCD that has the Wi-Fi antennas, there's another 3 screws. This one's set up a little differently. You have a smaller screw down here. Then you have 2 silver screws. One is on the very top, as shown in the picture, right here. The other one is back here. These are regular normal size screws. We just want to remember that the silver screws do belong to the LCD hinge when you put them back inside the computer, when you reassemble the notebook. At this point we want to kind of prop the hinge, prop the LCD display in the back to prevent it from falling as we remove the hinge. Kind of one-handed with holding the video camera, so I'll just scoot the laptop back so it's up against the desk. And it will allow me to remove this screw with some ease. There we go. Once your connections are free and you have your 3 screws on each hinge removed, the LCD simply lifts on the one side, and on this side here it takes a little bit of work, but the LCD will come free. And there we have it, the LCD. So now we're going to set the LCD off to the side with the other parts we have for the laptop. Now, as you can see, the laptop is pretty bare now. We have just the top portion of the laptop. From here, it's going to be pretty straightforward on removing the rest of the laptop to gain access to the motherboard. First thing we want to note is the connections that we show in the front. Your model may vary depending on the features that you have for the computer. But this connection right here is for the touchpad. This is your keyboard connection, which we already disconnected. And this one here is for an auxiliary connection, possibly for a Bluetooth or the biometric fingerprint reader if your model is equipped with it. On the top here, you have 2 connections. You have one for the control panel, the touchpad control panel on the top, and you have the second one here with 4 wires, 2 black, 1 red, 1 white. That is for your audio connection, your audio bridge on top here. This connection here, not used on this model here, but this is for Bluetooth for the specific model. And this one here you won't be able to gain access to until you remove this top cover piece, but this is the connection for your cooling fan on your laptop. If you're having issues with the cooling fan on the laptop, you can check this connection to make sure that the connections are free of any kind of breakage, or if the connection is even made on this. Last part, you have this part here, this little hole cut out. Depending on the model, some of them will have a subwoofer, and the subwoofer connection is actually going to be part of your audio connection if the model is equipped with it. You're not going to see the connection. It's going to go, it's going to snake through this hole here and into where the audio connection is to power that. So we're going to go ahead and take off the audio bridge. There's a total of 3 screws to take it off. These are the 2.5 by 3 millimeter screws. So we're going to set these off to the side. The connection is pretty easy to remove, the connection. Same thing as the LCD video cable. You can kind of put it in there, or you can grab the connector on the sides. Lifting up the audio bridge would be fine, and just remove the connector just like that. We're going to set this off to the side. Now, you're going to see that now we're down to the bare casing on this laptop here. The laptop has several silver screws on the bottom of the top part of this laptop here. They are all labeled. Can't see it on here, but it is a 2.5 by 5 inch. These are also this is the only place on this computer that has these types of screws. There's only 5mm screws on this location here, and you can see they're all over on top of this casing here. And we have some screws in the back here. We have a 3mm screw back that's exposed once you remove the LCD hinge. And then along the hinge line here on this chrome piece, again, your model may vary, you have a total of 3 more on the back of here. These are 3mm screws as well, and another one that's exposed by removing the LCD hinge right here. So we're going to go ahead and remove these screws from the laptop. And it's another thing worth mentioning. You want to remove the connection for the mouse pad, so this way you don't sever the cable for it. It's simple as just popping the black tabs on the side of each side of it, and just giving it a little tug up top to remove it. It can just sit there because we're going to remove the touchpad panel as soon as we get the screws out. Oops. So now we removed all the 5mm screws from the computer. Okay, so we're going to remove the 3mm screws from the back of the casing. Again, these just simply screw right out. And again, this whole computer can be removed with very basic tools. All you need is a precision screwdriver set, or I like to call it a tech screwdriver. One that would normally go in a technician's pocket for quick fixes on a computer. It's just a double-sided screwdriver with a flat blade on one end and a standard Phillips head on the other side. So now that we removed all the screws from the bottom of the casing, or from the top of the casing underneath the keyboard, we can go ahead and we're going to flip the computer back again. Before we flip, you're going to see on the back here, you'll see the transition between the chrome and the flat black casing. This is actually where the LCD, or the bottom of the laptop, separates. You just kind of stick your flat blade in there, and you just kind of pry it out. With some care, you're going to hear some resistance on there from the case. And you'll see the case starts to separate as I begin to pry it out.